everyone. Welcome back to Parental Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Tiana, and today's segment is brought to you by Faye's Coffee. Feeling those late night parenting moments. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting with renowned tattoo artist, Diana Dot, coming to us from Manchester, Connecticut. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good. Doing good.
It's okay. No, we can
All right. I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. So, obviously, you're here because you're a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me, how many children do you have?
Just one.
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you have?
A baby girl.
A baby girl. Girl mom. And how old is she?
She's 9. She just turned 9.
Really? And tell me what she like. Is she like you in any way? Is she like her father? Give me a little synopsis.
She is 100% like me. Spicy, sarcastic, very sassy, very bossy.
And you're like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. So tell me about when you became a parent. Was your daughter planned?
No.
So how did she get here?
Hennessy. Straight up. Valentine's Day, Mark Anthony concert, Hennessy.
Shout out to the Mark Anthony concert.
Straight up.
Oh my God. Wait, so Valentine's Day, that means your baby's November.
She was expected in November,
Okay.
but because of health issues, she was delivered a little bit sooner. So she came October 31st, Halloween.
Halloween. Wow.
I got a little witch baby.
Oh my gosh, a celebratory baby. So wait, you said you had some complications when you were carrying her?
I did. Unfortunately, I developed like early preeclampsia. So because they had to put me like on some type of medication, I refused to. So they decided to induce me, bring her into the planet, and then I was able to get on the medication that I needed to avoid high blood pressure problems.
I love that, how you said bring her onto the planet. Like she really just was welcome into the world. Oh my goodness. So what is your daughter like as far as school goes? What type of student is she? Is she in any activities or anything?
So Gia is very advanced just because when she was born, I did like a lot of exercises with her, like flashcards. I always had her watch like early childhood programs. I always had her like, I'm gonna be real with you, I'm a very lazy person. So I didn't want to have like the struggles to have a kid that really didn't get the subject at school. So what I did was like kind of like taught her from early age how to deal with things herself. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So she will watch educational stuff only, and she will see me with the flashcards and stuff. So today she's like 9, but going on 15, and she'll probably like, regulate us both type of thing. Yeah.
With school and the bullying and school shootings and things like that, how do you feel as a parent with your daughter going to school?
Me personally, this is something that I tell every parent. I feel like we cannot protect our kids the moment they stepped into school. However, we could teach them at home. Every time I hear a parent that has a baby girl, every time I hear a parent that has a kid that could potentially get bullied, I always tell them there's ways that we could protect them. Even though we're not in school with them, there's programs out there that would teach our kids how to protect themselves. Hence, that's why you could put your kid on Taekwondo, which will build the confidence that they need to know that nobody can step all over them. There's there's jiu-jitsu. There's many things that could teach our kids how to be confident, because the key is to be confident. My child is confident enough to know that the person that is to belittle her, it's not going to get to her because she believes in herself. And there's a lot of sports out there and a lot of things, we can pretty much pack our kids with and be mindful when they go to school. In terms of the shooting, I play something with Gia that's called survival games. And this is something that me and her kind of like got into after I saw like that shooting that happened at the movie theater. As parents, you understand hardship, how they go out there and how it's scary for us. Recently, last summer, my daughter's school got shut down because there was a shooter in Manchester that invaded a home and her whole school got shut down. survival games with my daughter teaches my daughter to tell how many exits are in a room, and without taking the play out of it, she'll identify how many windows, the smell of the room, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, in today's world, right, we live in a world that's completely different to the one that me and you grew up in. We need to teach our kids how to survive in it.
Right.
So Gia, not only she's a fighter, because she's been trained in Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai since she was 2, and she's 9. So she's been training on that to be able to fight bullies. That's the only way that I could protect her in school. And then survival games and other things that I do teach her how her brain operates in the moment of chaos, meaning like a shooting. So she would know that if any gunshot was to happen, she would throw herself on the floor. She would know that if anybody was to invade in school, she will hide. A lot of kids, unfortunately, are not exposed to that because parent thinks it's not a priority, but this is today's world. You don't know who's going to show up to your school, and you need to prepare for that. I only have one kid, baby.
I get it. And we want to keep them here for as long as we can. We want our children to outlive us. That's the goal, essentially, right?
You want to raise them into the adults, and they could probably change the world.
I like that. That was well put. I feel like most parents can definitely resonate with what you said, and they can learn from it. Because survival games, that's really a good idea.
That's how I say.
How did you come up with that idea, though?
What was the movie? Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
It was a movie that inspired it. And it is true. We live today. Whoever wrote movies are inspired by something, right?
Right.
Which gives us humans, right, a light to something that we weren't exposed to. If you come to realize the kind of world that we live in, it's unpredictable. So you play games, right? Every day is a game. Like every day you decide what you're going to do differently to be able to achieve and accomplish your goal. When you have a kid, you have to be mindful without stealing from them that innocence, how to expose them and show them the darkness, because that's what it is. You really don't want to sit down and teach your kid, hi, because a shooter might come in. Don't get into that truck or grab the candy because that's a pedophile. No, instead you kind of like put it in a way that's playful so they can understand the dangers of the world.
Well said. Well put. That was awesome. That was a great explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
How were you raised growing up, if you don't mind me asking?
I was definitely raised in a very hard environment. I was raised back in the island in Puerto Rico, and my childhood wasn't really pink. I was exposed to a lot of things that, I don't know how to put it into words, that pretty much stole my childhood, if you know what I mean. As an early kid, I had a lot of knowledge, so today I'll sit in front of you and you would think I'm 70, just because I matured a little bit earlier than I was supposed to. So my childhood was a little bittersweet. I was raised with my grandmother and her husband. I wasn't really raised by my parents. I met my dad when I was like 10, and I really don't have contact with my dad. He probably met my daughter when she was like 10 months old, and he's never seen her again. She's 9. So that's the kind of relationship that I have.
Has that affected you at all?
No, because I was exposed to it early. So when we're exposed to it early, it feels natural to us.
Yeah.
The key is not to teach our kids that that's natural.
Absolutely. So clearly the way you raise your daughter is definitely different. But are there any similarities with how you discipline your daughter?
No.
Earlier you did mention to me that you raise her more free. Yes.
I do.
Can you elaborate on that?
I raise her freely because she's not being raised in 1984. She's being raised in 2023. So with that said, as parents, we need to adapt to today's age versus trying to teach them the way they taught us. Because if we did any fuckery, which we did, We don't want to teach our kids the same way so they could do, any mess up in the future.
Right.
We want to pretty much go with the flow of how society is today and try to adapt as parents for their benefit, not ours. We're already old. We already know what's up. So for our kids, it's different.
I agree, 100%. I do. Well said. Well said. So tell me more about you for the time being. You're a tattoo artist?
I am.
Really? So how did you get into that?
Oh, Lord. I went to college, dropped out, decided that I wanted to be more involved with people. Turns out that I go down to New York City with my daughter's father, and he gets this procedure done called micropigmentation, which was permanent makeup, like a tattoo.
Okay.
I fell in love with it. Like, the way it was doing, how he lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm like, wait, this is something that I could potentially do. I'm a very crafty person. I could pretty much do anything. All I have to do is watch you. And when I saw that, I was like, I can do this. So we went ahead and we bought like a piece of the franchise. And I got into the cosmetic tattooing. That's how I started.
Oh, so you do cosmetic tattooing?
I do. That's how I did. That's how I started into the whole tattoo life. So I started with micropigmentation, which is heads, and then I switched to like eyebrows. So I was doing a combo of micropigmentation and microblading. But then a couple of things more happened. I was like, fuck it, let's do tattoos, and that's where I'm at.
Oh my goodness. And if you don't mind me asking, what is the relationship with your daughter's father? How do you guys co-parent?
We co-parent.
Is it easy? Is it?
It's balanced. We have different perspectives, like everyone, but we understand that it's all for the benefit of my daughter. So we, I try not to ring him, and we just go day by day.
Okay. How does his parenting perspectives differ from yours? Do you guys have the same parenting styles?
We do not.
In what way? If you don't mind me asking.
He's more like, have everything you want. I'm more like, work for it.
You have to earn it. Absolutely. And which parent does she gravitate towards?
Him.
Of course.
100%. But the problem when you give everything you want is it makes the kid think that is that easy. And it's not. Life is not a fairy tale. We have to work for things. And with that said, when you give everything that the kid can possibly want, it doesn't teach them appreciation. It doesn't teach them value. And it definitely doesn't teach them the hard work that comes with it.
Understood. How do you teach your daughter about picking friends? Because I'm going through that right now,
Girl,
so I need some advice.
Everybody's a best friend.
Yeah, mine too. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it.
My kid doesn't get either heartbroken or betrayed, I can't really teach that lesson. I just pray that she will just be blessed with good friends all throughout. But unfortunately, you never know. She might have a disagreement, but I have taught her how to be more understanding that we are humans and we all have different perspectives. So what she might think is a good thing, it's not necessarily a good thing, And her friends so far, she's in 4th grade, have been great. So I hope that for the rest of her life they'll be that way. But you and I know that that's not the case. But when the time comes that someone decides to do something that might break her heart, hopefully I'll be there to be like, hey, when I was your age,
Yeah, this is how I
had to deal with this and that, and I didn't give her stitches, but we're just gonna deal with this differently.
Yeah, that was literally gonna be my next question. How would you handle betrayal with your daughter and heartbreak? Wow.
With her, it will be different. Me, back in the day, I would just fucking smack you, but my kid, I have taught her how to communicate versus deal with anger.
Okay, how'd you do that?
I tell her, you feel it, you take a step back, breathe. It's always what I tell her, breathe. And then from there, you decide how to go about it. You could take your moment, you could put a pin on it, you could come back the next day and you could talk about it.
You teach her how to process her emotions.
Yes.
And that develops important. Emotional intelligence.
That
is awesome. Bravo to you. I love that.
That's how I deal with things.
Listen, I learned late in my 30s, so I get it. I wish I would have had like the opportunity to learn sooner, but teach us all.
And this is the thing. We as adults, we don't really teach our kids early the key points that they need to succeed as adults. If we teach our kids early how to handle with emotions and how to handle with things in general, they will be more successful adults.
I agree. I agree. So we're going to jump to the future. Imagine your daughter as a teenager. How will you handle her partying phase, partying stages?
Baby, I'm going to party with her.
What?
Straight up. You want to party? Let's party together.
Oh, my goodness.
You want to wear crop tops? I'll make sure I do that extra time in the gym. Really? We're going to do this together.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. When it comes to the way I raise her, and if you was to meet her, she's the one that we both like this. And we both with our tongues out, and I'm her best friend, but she is mindful that I'm her mother. Yeah. So she respects me as her mother, but she is comfortable enough to communicate with me, which would make her feel as if I'm her best friend. You understand? Which is very challenging as an adult to do.
Is it hard for her to differentiate? What are some of the things, the lines that she crosses?
Well, when she calls me bruh, I'll be like, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, but I'm your friend kind of thing. Or when, sis. Or
the sis.
It's the kind of terms that our kids use today.
Okay.
Back in the day, I would get smacked for either or.
Oh, my goodness. So what if your daughter ever came to you and was like, Mom, I want to try a certain type of, let's say, an edible. How would you handle that? Because we say no, they're going to just run
I've had
towards
certain
it.
Conversations with my clients. So as a tattoo artist, you're like a therapist. And a few clients that are parents have told me this. And I always say the same thing. Times are different.
Yeah.
If my child is going to have an edible, I'm going to make sure that she gets that edible from a dispensary that I know that she's not going to have a bad trip. Because unfortunately, if I don't do that with her, she's going to go and do it somewhere else. Hence, as if my child wants a tattoo. If my child wants a tattoo and she looks at me, I can't say no. But I got to be mindful. I can condition, because that's the proper term. And I could be like, well, you can't get it right now, but let's wait until you're like 16, 18, and I'll do it for you. You know what I mean? It's all about communication. Edible, it's not the right thing to do because they could probably develop like a like for it. But I don't know, maybe you want to have a beer and you know, we'll make sure you get a hangover and you don't like that, so you're not going to do it again. That's the hopes of it.
I like that. That was well said. You seem like such a cool mom. You really
am.
Like the coolest.
When I got pregnant, I always said I wanted to be the mom I didn't have.
Yes. I understand that. I resonate with that 110%.
Yeah. Because you wish you had a mom that would communicate with you. You wish you had a mom that would understand you. It would be comfortable, you 24/7 with that person. So imagine not being able to have that bond with her or communicate with her. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I didn't have that. So I wanted to make sure that my child has it. So she could feel comfortable whenever she has either good times or bad times.
I understand that. What are some of the generational curses that you've conquered being a mother to your daughter?
So many. And I think I've pretty much let go every one of them because I didn't want to teach her that. Affection is one of them.
You didn't get a lot of affection as a...
I didn't. To me, I would get sick and I would get a coloring book.
How did that make you feel?
Good at the time because it's the only thing I knew.
Right.
So with me, I struggle as a parent for like affection. Like what's the right thing or how much am I supposed to give, you know? She, every night, she sleeps with me. She does. And I let her. She has her own room with her full-size bed, a 9-year-old. And I let her sleep with me because it's good for me and her. And every night she asks me for a hug. Can I have a hug? And she's sleeping right next to me. So I'll hug her even though I feel awkward because it's not my thing. But it's what she wants. So I give it to her because I know that that's breaking a cycle of what, affected me. So when she grows up, she's not going to mention in the coloring book. She's going to be like, my mom hugged me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And she's going to trickle it down to
it's
her
different.
own daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any point in time, wait, my voice sounded weird, sorry. Was there any point in time during your parenting journey where you felt like, I can't do this?
Yes.
Really? And how did you overcome that?
Patience, baby. To understand that we don't have a choice. Once we become a parent, we're a parent forever. So there's really nothing we can do. We just have to overcome what we're feeling at the moment and understand that we decided to procreate, right? Mm-hmm. We decided to deliver. So it is our responsibility to deal with it.
Deal with it. Mm-hmm. And do the best we can. Every day.
Absolutely.
And we're not perfect, but
girl,
get it close enough and we're
I
good.
hate school. 100%.
Yeah, the getting up in the morning, I can't stand it. You said you were raised by your grandparents, right? So what did they say when they found out you were pregnant?
Well, my grandmother, I was pregnant at 29.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter.
That's a great age.
She was very excited.
Wow.
She couldn't believe it. And he wasn't a factor. My grandfather, he wasn't part of my life. So he wasn't. Everybody was very excited because they thought that I wasn't going to do that. Yeah.
How come? Why did they think that? Did you not want kids?
I did not want kids. I told you it was Hennessy.
Right, you did, yeah. But I thought like at some point in your mind.
Baby. I did not want to bring a kid.
Oh my goodness. Can I ask why?
It's the type of world we live in.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. You send your kid to school, it might get,
So how do you feel about abortions?
I'm okay with them. It's the right full thing for a woman that's not certain or sure about it. If you don't have the option to have that, you will bring a child into the world, right? Against your will. And that child will not have a good life. You will always have that resentment. I'm not against it.
So what stopped you from making that choice?
At the time, I was happy.
Oh, wow.
I got pregnant. It just so happened to be, a good relationship at the time. So I decided to have my baby. Wasn't an easy thing to do, but I'm not against abortion. You have a lot of women that unfortunately go through situations where they get pregnant, they're not ready for it, and I'm okay with that. Just because I understand the adversities that, life can bring, and the child won't, have a life, I don't know how to say it. They wouldn't have a loving mother. That's a proper term. A bitter mother wouldn't deliver a healthy child. That child will grow with trauma and stuff. Hmm?
Yeah, and that's something that we try to avoid every day. Because there's enough adults walking around with trauma.
I always say that to every mother, if the kid get like your daughter just got her, I call it red.
Red, yes.
Daughter got red. It's time to have the conversation over sex. It's time to have the conversation of prevention. Mm-hmm. It's time to pretty much contemplate birth control. The reason why I say this, it's because it will prevent our kids from becoming early parents. We fall in love, we believe in the dream, and we have babies. And then you have a baby raising a baby. And this particular baby that's raising the baby hasn't faced life. So you're raising a baby that's raising another baby, and then the baby that's being raised by a baby doesn't have the values, doesn't have the morals. So where is society going?
It's going in a cycle.
That it's not productive for anyone.
So it's safe to say that you don't want any more children.
Me personally, I would if I was younger. Just because I'm a good mom. But I'm selfish. I like to sleep. I'm older.
Does your daughter want siblings?
She does, but she has a few. She's not her only child, just not by me. She has a few with her dad.
Oh, okay. So then she's good then.
She's good. I'll get her a puppy if anything.
Exactly. So what's dating like as a single mom?
Girl, terrible.
Ooh, terrible? Talk to me about it.
I won't date anyone that doesn't have a little girl.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You won't date anyone that doesn't have a daughter?
No.
All right, so what's the maximum number of kids that a man can have in order to date you?
I don't care.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because a single dad that has multiple kids will understand the struggles of a single mom.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Wow. So what are you looking for as far as, besides them having to have children, what else are you looking for?
I'm not.
You're not?
Mm-mm. I'm not looking.
You said at the time in your pregnancy you were happy in your relationship. Like, tell me a little bit about that. How was your relationship? What made you happy?
At the time, it was very, I call it fluffy. It was just, we were happy. We had a good relationship. We did a lot together. We were together for 13 years. And we had our daughter, she's 9. So we had our daughter 6 years after being together.
6 years.
Yeah.
So you really
it took me 6 years to deliver my baby, and I like I said, I didn't want to have children, but I had her, and she was a blessing. We were going through difficulties, but when she came into the picture, I kind of saw it as a sign of God, and we worked things out. Everybody in the world thought that I couldn't get pregnant. No, that wasn't the case. It was called birth control, but. But people be like, hey, you can't get pregnant. No, I take care of myself. That's the difference.
Exactly. I was precautious. Yeah,
I sure was. So yeah, she happened, and I'm happy for that. She's like my best friend today.
Right, but how did you having a baby change the dynamic of your relationship? Did it? Or?
We were okay for a long time. Then we pretty much fell out of love. He had too much work. I was too much of a mom. I was like a helicopter mom. I developed this thing where I thought somebody was going to steal my baby. So I was very into it. Like, I was all over her. I didn't want anybody to care for her. I didn't want anybody around her. And that consumed me. I kind of neglected, other things. Like, the husband and everything else. So we fell out of love. And then when she was about 5 years old, I separated. We call it quits.
And how did that affect your baby girl?
I don't know. Gianna's resilient. Gianna she's my replica. And I don't know. I think she took it as if it was a normal thing. But in reality, it wasn't. And as time has gone by and she's growing older, she has questions here and there, and she's emotional. So I know that it affected her, but I think it was for the greater. Just because when you're raising a kid, you want to raise a kid with love. You don't want to raise a kid under the environment of two people not really getting along or two people not really loving each other, because then the kid would think that that's normal, and they will step into adulthood and carry on the same thing. Here's the thing about me. I think about the future. Even though we're not there, I'm thinking how my daughter can be a better human. And I'm not going to teach her what I believe is not right. So if I want her to be a loving human, I have to teach her that, right? Hence, that's why I said I'm not affectionate, but I'll give her a hug.
Understood. What are some of the other morals that you teach your daughter?
Respect, the truth. You always are to tell the truth. I will respect you more if you tell me the truth than to lie to me, because you're insulting my intelligence. And my child, no matter what, she'll tell you, don't get mad, but she'll tell you the truth. And I don't necessarily scream at her because she told me the truth. I might get upset about it, but I don't show it. And yes, she will get a punishment out of it. Like, I'll take her phone away, or she's not to watch TV. But instead of screaming at her, I'll explain to her, these are the repercussions for your actions. And this is what you're going to deal with. And she'll tell me, okay.
How long do your punishments last?
With her, like 2-3 days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a softie. I'm like 48 hours tops.
No, 2-3 days. Kids don't really reciprocate after a week. They forget.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start to like try to do what you told them not to do after. They got short-term memory.
Slowly but surely, yeah.
Yeah. So you can't really go the long way. You gotta be like very on point. Me personally, if she does something that's wrong, I will pin it right there and then. I don't care if I'm in the middle of Marshall's or Target. I will tell you, you don't do this, and I'll talk to her firmly. And she'll understand. You have to pin it right there and then. You can't wait until you get into the car because you're too worried about what Karen thinks. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, my mom was like that. I'll get you right where you stand.
Exactly.
What are some of the challenges about being a parent? What's the hardest thing for you?
Girl, school.
School.
All the way. School, and to get the kid to understand your perspective. We're adults. So we're trying to teach our kids what's responsibility, time management, truth, everything. So those are the adversities that come with it. The complications. We try to teach a kid, get up, do this, do that, be on time. We're going to be late. That's I always blame school for everything. I wasn't told. When I had a baby, I wasn't told I had to get up every day and take them to school.
Listen, that is like, I'm crawling out of bed in the morning. So
yes,
I feel where you're coming
from.
Like, they didn't have school today, and I was like, thank God.
Yeah. Me getting up at 9 a.m., taking coffee at 10, I'm like, yeah, this is the life. But I wasn't told. So with her, it's like, it's difficult.
Is she a morning person?
No.
So it's even more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. What are mornings like getting her up for school, though? Tell me about that. She had to exhale.
She's difficult. So she's not, she won't go to bed early. I told you like 5 to 10 times. I'm very repetitive. It's the kind of, it's a 9-year-old.
Yeah,
what can you do?
I
can't smack her. So I want to, but I can't. So she'll get to bed. And then in the morning, girl, I'll even sing. I'll turn into Cinderella. I'll do the most for this kid to get up in a good mood and go and do. And that most of the time, I'm always rushing. Because she goes into school at 8:45. She's getting out of bed at 7:30, right? Takes her 6 minutes to literally get physically out of bed. She gets into the shower and she takes a whole 15 minutes. And then she takes another 20 minutes to eat. And then I'm that kind of mom that I got to make sure that she looks good because she's my kid, right? So I'll do her hair, get her ready and stuff. And she's a sloth. She'll like slow motion, put on her backpack, slow motion, walk to the car. It's the kind of kid I have.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds like her and my daughter might be sisters. So I feel you. I feel your pain.
It's today.
Exactly. It's the kids in 2023, like you said earlier.
Back in the day, we'll get smacked in the back of the head.
Wouldn't
like,
we,
you better
though?
hurry up. Yeah.
And then we're like going to school with tears down our face and like, you better fix your face before you get in school.
You better.
So what other disciplinary actions do you take? Because I heard you say you wouldn't smack her. So do you believe in physical discipline? Or
Here, I do believe in physical discipline.
Discipline. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Physical discipline.
It's fine. Physical discipline.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in a chancletazo. There we go.
There we go.
I believe in a chancletazo when it's needed. However, she's 9. I did that from 1 to 3. So my daughter today, I only say 1 and she reacts. You have to teach them early respect, because it's not teaching them fear, it's teaching them respect. From 1 to 3 is the time that you have to basically tell your kid what's up. And then from there on, you be like 1. And 1, if I get to 2, you're going to get it. Chancletazo, I don't know, remote control, hanger, whatever's in my hand, a cup. I'm Puerto Rican, baby. I don't care.
Oh, my God. She cracks me up. That was funny because my mother was the same exact way, literally.
It's how we taught. So we want to do different with our kids, but these kids of today are not like the kids from before. So
they have no fear.
Girl.
I definitely feel like they have no fear. So I think it is definitely important to like not instill the fear factor, but the respect factor.
The respect.
Because they don't have a lot of respect either, I'm noticing.
They don't. You have a lot of kids. Let's talk about the booty shorts.
Let's talk about the booty shorts.
Yeah. You have 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds that fucking, what's it called? Street frog. Yeah. You have them in street frog summer. They 12, they 13 with their ass cheeks out. Mm-hmm. Who's buying the shorts?
The parents. Mm-hmm. What kind of parents?
Mm-hmm. So if my kid is driving, I don't know, Bugatti at 13, then she could rock the booty shorts because she bought the car so she could afford her life.
Exactly.
But until then, I don't even do it. Yeah. So again, it's about teaching kids the value and the respect. If you teach your kids the respect, the kids are a reflection of their parent. I might look aggressive, and I might be aggressive at times, but I'm a very kind, loving person. Mm-hmm. I don't hug you, but I'll show sympathy, and I care for what you are. My child is the same. I'll hold the door for someone, she'll hold the door, and she'll ask you if you need help. She's a reflection of what I am. That's how children are. They mirror their parents. It's the teaching that comes from home. So if we want to build a better future, we need to start with the kids.
Absolutely, I agree. There was a terminology that I grew up on that I don't particularly agree with at all, which was what goes on in the house stays in the house. What's your take on it?
Absolutely not, because what goes on in the house could be chaos.
Yes.
What goes on in the house could be hell. Doesn't necessarily mean that it stays in the house, because that's going to affect the future. However, if mama likes to walk around naked and sweep the floor and sing to, I don't know, Mariah Carey, then that stays in the house.
That stays in the house, yes.
Yes. You could say mom was happy, but, if we really don't want to teach that, because there's abuse, there's starvation, there's many factors that happen in households, and children don't talk about it.
They don't. How important do you think it is for children to be in therapy, if it's necessary?
They need it. To be better adults, they need it. I feel like today's world lacks communication. They do. So if we teach them early how to communicate, especially their feelings and their perspectives and how they see things, that's all part of communication. So if we communicate better, you will understand me more, I'll understand you more, because we individuals, we think differently.
Right. Mm-hmm. When your daughter gets older and she starts dating, I know, I'm fearing it too. It's hurting my soul thinking about it too. But when she does get older and gets into the dating world, what's your take on it? Do you care who she dates? What gender?
I don't care about gender.
Okay.
I care more about doing background checks on the parents.
Oh, for sure.
And understanding where does the individual come from, and the foundations of it. But they could be that one unicorn. They could be raised in a very difficult environment, and they could be a better human just because that's how the Lord created them. And with that said, we can't really judge a book by its cover. We kind of got to give them the benefit of the doubt. However, I hope that I have given my child the right knowledge to be able to dissect a personality, the character of a person, the traits and everything, to know whether that person is good or not.
Yeah, you want to teach her discernment. Mm-hmm. That's something that I wish I had more of as a kid too. So it's important for us to instill that in our children to avoid mishaps. Because we make those, you know what I mean?
We do.
So do you believe that it takes a village to raise a child?
It does.
Do you have one?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
How does that make you feel?
I'm okay with it. I was raised alone. And I don't think I have people on the same page as I do.
Okay. What are some of the mistakes that you've made in your parenting journey?
I don't think I've made any.
Really? Because you were so conscious.
I think based on the way I was raised, I am doing the best I can to my knowledge. They don't come with a manual. You don't necessarily know what's the right or wrong. And you really can't go by what society tells you or what's the right thing to do. You pretty much go what feels right to you. Because at the end of the day, baby, I pushed her out. I breastfed her. So she's mine. So I'm going to do whatever I think is best for her, in my own opinion. And at times you do feel, lost and confused, but all you could do is hope for the best. But I honestly don't think I've done anything that could potentially harm her to be a better person.
Daughter gets older. Once she graduates high school, do you want her to go to college? Do you have a plan for her? Or?
I do not. She doesn't want to go to college. She feels like now is the time for her to become a millionaire because she wants to drive a Bulgari by the time she's 16. So I told her now is the time to figure it out.
Oh my goodness.
So we have her, me and her dad, we both agreed that she was to take certain classes. So as of right now, she's in coding. Coding is a program that teaches her about how to develop programs. And with the hopes that she will come across something that she likes enough to build or create, and it will get her the fancy car that she wants.
Oh my goodness. So does she like taking the coding classes?
She does. She's very much into it. She knows as a businesswoman that I am. Mm-hmm. She does spend a lot of time with me at work, and she knows how to handle people. She knows about business. She literally breaks it down as to what would happen if I take 100 people in one day and the profit of it. So she'll break it down to this is how much you would do if we do this for 6 days, if we do this for 30 days. Because I've been teaching her about management and business. So I've been teaching her literally how to make her money.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So she will be that millionaire by 16. We're going to speak it into existence.
We are. She will get the car that she wants. I won't pay for her.
You don't want to pay for it?
Nope.
I think she wants mom to pay for it, though.
Nah, absolutely not.
I heard during the course of the interview you spoke a lot about God and faith. Are you a woman of faith?
I'm a woman that believes in a higher power.
Okay.
I don't have a religion. However, I do believe that there's something out there. Just because in moments of darkness, when I actually pray from the heart, I got an answer. And whenever I feel like I'm in a dark place, I do literally talk from the heart and I get an answer. I believe. In the most rare way you could look at me and judge me, you could be like, nah. And I get watery. My eyes get watery because there's been revelations there in moments of darkness that I have gotten like a random person that will send me like words of God and tell me everything's going to be okay. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I believe.
Do you pray with your daughter?
No. She prays on her own.
But you taught her?
I do. But she has a lot of questions about religion. And I don't know what's the right answer. I can't be a hypocrite. I can't install in her what the Catholic is because I don't believe in it. You know? So how do you teach a kid something that you don't believe in? Religion is something that is taught to people to keep them in check. Keep them, I call it condition.
I was going to say condition, yep.
Religion conditions people to believe certain things.
Were you brought up in a certain religion that made you want to...
Catholic.
So what made you stray away from it on
Catholics,
your own?
the amount of scandalous reports that came from it. I was like, damn, a Catholic is doing that. I'm not going to believe in that.
100%.
I don't know. I fell out of religion as an adult. And today, I could tell you I don't need a church. And I might be judged for it. But baby, I go take a walk through nature, meaning the forest, by the water, and I talk directly to the higher power, which I call it my God, my Lord. I get an answer. So it's all about having a belief. We all believe differently.
Well said. That was beautiful. As a mom, single mom, what are some things that you would tell the other single moms they can do for fun to let their hair down? Because we're moms 24/7.
Well, to me personally, I think when the kid is with the other half, as a single mom, that's your time to have fun. That's your time to go out, have some tacos, margaritas, I don't know.
Is that what you do?
Fuck yeah. I seize every opportunity I have to go and have a damn taco.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I don't let my hair down, though. It gets hot.
You don't let...
No.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny. It gets too hot. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview, and I think you're an amazing mom. So thank you for taking the time to sit with me. But before I let you go, tell me 5 things that make a great mother.
I listen. I understand. I love. Unconditionally. Doesn't matter what. No matter what. I will always. I hold hand. And I say, figure it out. It's balance.
Beautiful.
I think that's why, in my perspective, I'm a good mom.
That's beautiful. Beautiful core values. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. She's getting misty-eyed. Don't cry.
Yeah, it's okay. My kid, you really do try to be a good mom. Nobody knows whether you're being good or not.
Yeah.
And you're being judged by everyone. When in reality, you're doing the best that you can, you know? It's not an easy thing to do. We do the best we can in hopes that they will be better, than us.
Exactly. Well, you continue doing the best you can. And again, I appreciate you for taking your time out to sit with me.
Thank you.
And hopefully we do it again soon. Once again, that's a wrap for Parental Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Tiana, and this segment was sponsored by Faye's Coffee. Until next time, bye.